Another episode of With the Chiefs.
Wait. Man, I need more rest.
I hope I've got your last name right there.
It's a very good pronunciation.
You should know better than that now, Dom.
I know.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of With the Chiefs. Today we are lucky to be joined by Josh Large, or affectionately known as Largie. Josh has personal bests of 2:42.44 in the marathon and 1:14.53 in the half marathon and 16:09 in the 5K. Another interesting fact about Josh is we're both coached by Sally Coggins, which is interesting. Today I think we're going to recap the recent Canberra half marathon, which we both ran in. Josh came third. I came second, but anyway. Josh, welcome to the show.
How are you guys?
Good. Dom, how about we start with you? What's been happening in terms of training?
Not a lot in terms of training.
Have you been running yet?
Went for one run with Smitty yesterday. Smitty and Adrian around the bay. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like my motivation for running is just kind of gone out the window at the moment, coming back from the 100K.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of keen just to chill for a bit and then get back into running maybe in a week or two. But
how it's a big recap, Dom.
The quickest one, yeah.
Yeah. Shame about me, but anyway. So how just to drag it on a bit, how are your legs feeling anyway?
Oh, legs fully recovered. It took a while though. It probably took like I don't know, like the whole week really until my legs felt better. And I felt really, really tired, like just like I felt like I needed to sleep or hadn't slept properly for the whole week as well. But feeling fine now. And I reckon I could start running if I wanted to, but just not much motivation at the moment.
What are you thinking of in terms of when you're going to start, like getting your head around it and stuff like that?
I think I need to, I don't know, maybe set some goals or something, or just start running. Yeah. I don't know. At the moment, I'm like really into skateboarding. I'm going to try and learn to do a kickflip. I'm like maybe 50% of the way there, but still a long way to go. So I don't know. When I get bored of skating, I'll probably start running again.
So what do you got? Pop shove it down.
Pop shove it down. You
got 180 down.
Yep.
Aided by surfing, I think.
Front side and back side. Yep.
Yeah.
And
what else?
Pretty rookie in the transitions and at the skate park, but I can do rock and roll, rock to fakie.
What's the rock to fakie again?
You just go up, tap your wheels over.
Is that the one you're like?
Come back down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's probably the most basic skate park move, but it's weird feeling like an absolute noob at something. Like I get to the skate park and I'm just embarrassed about how good I am, but
I remember you text me saying, hey, do you know any skate parks that are completely rookie? Because every time I go there, it's just a little bit above out of my comfort zone. I saw videos of your skate park. It's probably the most rookie I've ever seen, but anyway.
Oh, it's pretty sketchy, yeah. But it's good because no one goes there, so it's all right.
No embarrassment.
Yeah, but that's enough about my skating chat.
Skateboarding.
Let's get back into running. How's your week been going, Josh?
This week post Canberra haven't done too much. Just rest Monday. Went out for 45 on Tuesday, just easy. Wednesday I had another rest, just wasn't feeling it. And then went for a run just before. It was meant to be 4x2K. And then I needed to go to the toilet, so I got about halfway through and had to detour onto the side of the road and drop something off.
It's always awkward when that happens. It happens. I've seen Dom. We've been on quite a few long runs where you've had to take a detour into the nearest restaurant to politely be like, I'm not going to buy anything, but I need to demolish a restroom.
Yeah.
I'll buy a bottle of water, I swear.
Yeah, that's it. Nah, and then I got the girlfriend to pick me up because I tried to run again, and then about another K, and the stomach just said no. So
Oh, geez.
yeah, it wasn't ideal, but nothing too serious. Yeah,
Is
body's
that-
felt good post Canberra, which is good.
Yeah. So, did you say Tuesday? Nothing programmed, like not a session.
Tuesday's easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Sally hasn't programmed anything yet.
Okay.
Waiting
Alright.
for Friday. I'll get my new roster. And there's a sneaky chance I might do the Cozzy 100.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So I just go from never running a trail, running my life, to doing 100. Yeah. So we'll see how we go.
when is that one again? I know I've asked it 16
it's
times, but
15th to the 17th of December.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when each race starts, but yeah, they're the dates.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I get the new roster 2 weeks out from when the old one finishes. So yeah, it sets up the next 6 weeks ahead. So I'm just waiting for a few smaller details, which I'll find out tomorrow.
Have you always had your eye on the ultra stuff, or?
No, not really. I just saw Dom do it and a few other people do it, and I thought, why not just give it a crack?
Absolutely.
I'm a big Nick Bear enthusiast.
Oh, yeah.
Love what he does. Seeing some of his trail running in the Rocky Raccoon area, yeah, he's just nuts.
He went from, what did he start doing? Like, try to get his sub 3, I think it was.
Yeah, I think his
And-
first mara was 3 hours 26, and then he went back to like near 4 hours, and then he actually got a coach after that and started to go better. But
Yeah.
to put things into context, he's 95 kilos and can run a sub 2 hour 50 marathon, which is pretty
It's
ridiculous.
insane. He's incredibly muscular. That's
Yeah.
like he's just a big block. But what in terms of ultras, what did he do? I saw he's got like a big YouTube following now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did the Rocky Raccoon, which is in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest ones in the world. And he did that. You have to get like a specific entry to get in, so you can apply to go in, but it's not just you buy a ticket and you're in. You sort of need to be invited to go on, or to
Yeah,
go
okay.
and run the race. It's pretty prestige in that remark,
Yeah, okay.
which is pretty cool. But yeah, I just thought, why not? Might give it a crack and then go into some bigger goals heading into next year.
Mm.
Mm.
I wonder if we have to track our power on an ultra, or what we it's like what am I gonna look at? I don't
Well, the hills, there'd be too many hills. Your power would do nothing.
yeah.
You'd constantly be sitting at bloody 500 power. I think you're meant to be at close to 350 max.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So no, the hills are another beast. But I don't know. I when I was growing up playing footy, I used to go run down. I don't know if you've run in the Ventura, like Parramatta Park. There's a place called Ventura Road, and there's some trails down there.
Oh, yeah.
There's like an 10-11K loop, and it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like there's some stairs that literally on a hill, like vertically, and the stairs are too far apart, so you can't run up them. You sort of have to hobble once you get more than halfway, unless you've got like a normal stride length. But yeah, no, that was just a cool thing. And then I got injured actually doing that. But yeah, I realised strength was a thing, which Sally wanted me to remind you of, Luke.
Yeah, oh yeah. I said when we did the hill session, I was like, fucking hell, Josh powers up the hills, and she's like, yeah, he does 3 strength sessions a week. And I'm like, oh, okay. I better get started into that. No,
I think the hills are better. Like you go up the hill and then down the hill, you just it's a breeze down the hill. You just open up, let it take you pretty much.
yeah, it's funny how the strength definitely plays into that sort of stuff. I'm just all talk basically.
No, you're good on the flats.
Yeah. Good on the
You're good at the Gold Coast Marathon where there's not a single hill.
Can we call Canberra hilly? No, we can't, can we?
Oh, I reckon
What
the
do you
half
think?
was pretty hilly.
Yeah.
It was, but all right, what's the view on whether or not you actually lose time when you can actually fly down the hills? Do you think it's quicker than, like, say Gold Coast is pretty flat, right?
Yeah.
but then you got Canberra, which we just raced, and you're going up the hills, but then you can like go much faster down the hills. Do you think it'd still slow you down overall?
I guess
Might be.
yeah, I reckon it depends how often you run hills.
Okay.
If you regularly run hills, I feel as though you can make that time up because you're not going, like you're not losing form up the hill, which is what happens a lot of the time. And then you sort of, you lose a lot of pace once you lose form.
Yeah.
But that's my thought. I don't know what Dom's is.
Yeah, I think like going down the hills can kind of bang your legs up too a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially like doing the ultras, like running down the hills almost worse sometimes because it's like your legs collapse pretty much. But I guess over a half marathon it's a bit different. But maybe the same kind of principle applies a little bit.
Maybe depends how steep it is, right? Like if it's quite steep, then you sort of have to use certain muscles to slow yourself down. Whereas if at Canberra it was like pretty much you could just let it wasn't steep enough for that to really be an issue, so you could just let the legs fly down.
The monument bit was a bit steep.
Yeah, I'll claim that. I reckon I could have gone
the
quicker.
steepest part.
Yeah. What do you reckon? 30 seconds. 30 seconds quicker.
30 seconds quicker. You would have caught that bloke who came first.
If he was on the Gold Coast course, then yeah.
He's definitely a guy that trains on hills, eh?
He was bloody nuts, that bloke.
Yeah, he was fast. I saw him. I saw him for a few minutes, and then he was gone. I think he ran. What did he run? 69.
Yes, 69.
Low?
I thought it was mid 69.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was nuts. I thought he was going to burn out for sure. I thought, no, he's just all show this bloke.
Yeah,
didn't even have that good of shoes on. I thought.
What shoes did he have on?
I think they were an older pair of Nikes. Like not a race shoe. I didn't think. From what I saw, I don't know. I judge people on their shoes a lot.
Well, Dom, yeah, you'd be judging Dom a lot, especially when he walks into a shopping center with no shoes on. But anyway, we'll leave that. I'm glad I finally was able to weave that in.
My girlfriend doesn't get curious of me looking at people because she knows I'm just looking at their shoes.
Okay, should we get serious? Okay, I guess my week. All right, what's happened? I actually felt on Monday when I did an easy run. I felt pretty decent after the half in terms of muscle soreness compared to say Gold Coast. I remember being sort of banged up quite a bit more. Like it took me maybe like 3-4 days to recover. It was almost like not like the marathon, but sort of closer to what that feels like. So yeah, Monday went out pretty easy. Then Tuesday I had a bit of a session actually, which is interesting to get straight back into it. But I was at Gore Hill doing a fartlek session. I think it's the first one I've done, but basically it was structured like the ons were 800 meter reps with a 2 minute float, and the so I think the rep was meant to be, sort of 5K, between 5K and 10K pace roughly, and the float was sort of like marathonish pace. I think I went out a bit hot because if you look at the graph, it sort of just gradually goes down and the floats get slower and slower, but I kept it relatively I was still okay by the end of it. I don't think I blew up, but yeah, that was Tuesday.
How much do you know how much the pace dropped in the floats compared
to we can't talk about pace at Gore Hill because it's too confusing. So
yeah, I think like relative though, if you know it dropped by like, I don't know.
Yeah, it dropped. Okay, so it dropped probably maybe like 10 seconds. Okay.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Not that much slower.
Yeah. But then Wednesday, is that when we caught up, Dom? Yes. No. Yeah. We went out easy with Adrian. Then today was another easy day, but incorporated some hills. I thought it was said 8 seconds on the program, but it was actually 20. So I can just I can claim ignorance there, but
Sally won't be happy.
yeah. I've got to be careful because I portray this inaccurate, like I'm gonna get in trouble. And Sally's like, I've never once said anything to you, all right? And I'm like, that's true. I'm literally worried about me getting in trouble with myself and then making it sound like you're like, oi, why are you not doing your bloody strength? Which just never happens. But anyway, I'd just like to clear that up. Sorry, Sally. You're always fantastic.
Does the workout like load into your watch though? Or do you just have to remember?
Dom, don't get me on a technicality. No, it normally does, but I was having syncing issues actually with the watch. Yeah, and today's Thursday. That's about it. So, all right, we'll do a bit of a recap on the race. What were your expectations going into the race, Josh?
The goal was sub 75 going in. I thought I was in pretty good shape. Obviously, I was meant to run the week before, but stupidly enough, I didn't buy a ticket until it was sold out. And then I was running around trying to get one and never got one. So there's a lesson out there for everyone. Just buy the bloody ticket. And you can always get rid of it later. Yeah, so I sort of had, leading into the race, I had sort of two weeks taper, which normally for a half, you'd only have the one sort of like a couple of days out, you'd sort of taper a bit more. So I was really fresh going in. I thought sub 75 might have been a little bit of a stretch. I don't know if you guys know, but my watch is a bit fucked sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when we did that session, mine was saying 330s and yours was saying 338s.
Yeah. So my watch doesn't like me that much. So I've actually since then I've changed the settings. So I've gone from GPS glossiness to GPS Galileo. Apparently Galileo is more for like regular running and glossiness is for trails. So that might explain why my watch has been so off for so long.
Oh, okay. So there was a setting.
Yeah. So I've since I think it's gotten better, definitely. I'll have to do a few laps around the track to be sure that it's right, but I'll go from there. But in terms of the race going in, yeah, I thought sub 75 was a bit of a stretch. I went out pretty decent pace. Sort of just settled behind. I think I settled behind you, Luke. I knew that you were trying to run sub like 1 hour 12, 1 hour 13 roughly. And I knew that if I was a little like could see you, but not like super close to you, that I knew I'd be around that ballpark. And
Unless
then
I blew up, of course.
Yeah, I spoke with fourth place at the time, and I'm like, mate, what are you running? He's like sub 75. So I went with him for the first 4K, and I'm like, bro, you're running too slow. I'm leaving you. So,
I hope you said that to him.
so I didn't say anything to him actually. He just dropped off.
Yeah.
And I just because I think some hills started around that 4 or 5K mark, and yeah, he just didn't like them because I don't know. He disclosed to me that it was his 50th birthday after the race, so he had someone follow me around the track the whole time. So I think they were booing me, hoping that he'd get third.
Party pooper.
Yeah, but oh well.
Oh well, mate. Come on.
Yeah. No, but the race itself, I thought went pretty good. Obviously, my watch is cooked, so I just thought, well, if I'm at 338, it's probably a 333. So that's what I went for.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be pretty right.
Yeah.
The hills were pretty good. I started to feel it maybe, I don't know, the last part going up towards Parliament House. What's that, about 16, 17K in?
Yep.
I could feel the legs starting to go there. I think that K was maybe a 350, but that's because it was uphill, but I could feel that I was starting to get fatigued. But yeah, and then that downhill helped so much.
Oh yeah.
It got me back on track.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at the K marks, like I was just looking on the side, like the 8, because they had flags up for each kilometer. And then they didn't have one for the 20K. So I thought, fuck, this is the longest K I've ever done in my life. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And when I came into the shoot, I saw it was at like 1 hour 14:30. I'm like, geez, I'm close. Like 200 meters to go, and I sort of just put on the gas and managed to get there with 7 seconds to spare. So
Mate,
yeah, I was pretty happy.
Pretty good. It's funny when you have the goal sometimes. Something just directs you towards it. Like you've got some form of internal pacing that goes beyond Garmin.
Yeah, like
you
my
know?
watch is obviously going to be better now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just surprised that I gauged the pacing so well.
Yeah, and
I
it
was pretty
was
happy with it.
close. What was that sort of pace feeling like in training? Had you done much at
Yeah,
um
I've done quite a bit. Because I run a lot during the middle of the day because of work. So I
mm,
often run in the heat, which I think is beneficial for my training. But like a couple of weeks out, I did a 2 by 8K at that pace, and then I did some 3 by 5Ks, a couple of sessions of those, and I felt pretty good in those. Was sitting around that 3:40, 3:38 mark.
Yep.
Which I found out's quicker, but since.
I would have been so disappointed if I had that watch. I would have been like, I'm just not getting fitter.
It's like when I was at bloody Gold Coast, I finished with 40.5 kilometers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
That's
I
nowhere
was
near.
going at a 4:02 pace apparently for the whole
Oh,
race instead of a 3:51.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another topic. You kind of what was your because we're here, we'll have to talk about that for a second. What was your target going into for the marathon? What actually, yeah, what was your PB in the mara
Prior.
yeah, to
Yeah, so the PB prior was 3 hours 6 minutes.
That's right.
And that I'd done that twice. I did that at my first ever mara at the Three Bridges a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And then I did it down in Shell Harbour with Josh Duncan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, last year, early last year it was. But that race I wasn't going for a PB or anything. We went out. I said we'll just get you 3 hours 15. Just tried to help him out, get a good time. And then he blew up, so he died nearly,
Oh fuck.
which was rough. Yeah, he really struggled.
When you say he died nearly.
not literally, but
Okay, good. Just clearing that up.
he was in a world of hurt. Because we got to 21 Ks and we were on pace, and then I don't know, his body didn't agree with him. And once he crossed the finish line, he was in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Like the medics were around him, he nearly didn't finish that race.
Shit.
Yeah, but I just decided to stride out and ended up running the same time I ran in my first marathon, even though I wasn't going for anything in particular.
Yeah.
Which was good. Like, I was happy that I was able to negative split a marathon, and it was still pretty decent. I was happy with that. But then leading into Gold Coast, the goal was just 3 hours.
3 hours. Who did you set that goal?
I set that goal, and then
Okay.
Sally said, "Yeah, you're on for about 2 hours 59, I reckon, looking at the data."
2 hours 59, and you Jesus. I would
Yeah.
love to be like Sally to be like, all right, you're on for about 72 minutes, and then I just run 65. It's just not gonna happen.
No. The Mara was interesting because I went out and I didn't think I was going that fast, and then I spoke with this group and they said they're in the 2 hour 45 group. I'm like, yeah, right.
Ooh.
And I just stayed
And you
with
stuck
them.
with them.
I just stayed with them, and I led the pack the whole way through.
So you didn't know, yeah, okay. So you didn't know it was 2:45. You thought it was maybe like just above, because there was obviously 3 hour. There's a huge 3 hour sort of group.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when you started. That was how long had you been being coached by Sally?
So I started with Sally in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
Not that long. That was my first race with her, apart from a lead up race in Sydney, which was just another half. But once I hit the 5K mark, I saw it was sub 20 minutes, and that's well below 3 hour mark.
Yeah.
So I just felt good and just kept going.
When did you start to feel it back half of the race?
Not at all really. From about it's weird. About the 30K mark, the worst thing in the whole race was probably that I needed to find the toilet, like
Yeah.
all runners do.
Yeah,
And-
yeah. I remember
and
you
good-
saying this, yeah.
And because the course was, there was no toilet stops on the way. Like all the course was like roped off, or there were fences the whole way around. I couldn't
Mm.
actually get off the course to go to the toilet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there was nowhere to get off. So I just decided to keep running and just hope that I didn't, something didn't happen.
Yeah, that's literally almost the exact same as my first Melbourne marathon. Is when I had the gels and they didn't agree with me, and then I've told it a few times on the podcast, but I was looking for I was looking for a toilet, and there was not. They were locked for some.
Yeah.
They were locked, and I was
It's
like,
stupid.
I'm like, what? I was like, I need to go, but
Yeah.
apparently, if you just keep going, you're fine.
Yeah, like leading into a race. My fear doesn't come, oh, I'm not going to hit this pace. My fear is that I'm going to need to take a dump during the race.
100%.
It's the greatest fear.
It is. Like walking to the race, if you feel like you need to go to the bathroom and you're like too far away from the hotel, it's just you're just like, fucking hell. Because you know the porta potties, there's going to be some huge line and you're just going to be standing around for ages. Actually, funny, when I was waiting around for mum's race, because she did the 5K in Canberra, she's like, I need to go to the bathroom, was whinging, and it was coming close to the start time. But anyway, there was like a huge line for a bunch of porta potties, and then 10 meters away, there was a single porta potty that no one was using. And like, there was just a huge line. It's almost like no one could see it.
No one knew.
No one knew. And I'm like, is this too good? Go in there. And then it's like, we're like looking around like to see if it's a setup. It wasn't. And then, used it, went back and was like, there's a free one there. And then people like started scrambling to get it.
No, on the Gold Coast, that's what I did with my warm-up. I just ran to the toilet, the closest toilet, and then ran back because I knew there'd be no one at the toilet 2 kilometers away.
Yes.
So just go and find that one and then run back. And then the
that
race
is a
is
good
starting,
tactic.
and there's bloody 500 people trying to use 3 toilets.
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, by far. And then back to bloody back to Gold Coast. That I think I took a caffeine gel at 37, just a pure like Cliff caffeine shot, like a double shot. And at that point, I just decided just to give it my all. And I think my final like 5K was like 3:26 pace.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I was pretty happy with that. It's comparing it to some of the elites. I know that I didn't run bloody sub 3:10 for the whole race, but
Yeah. Well, it suggests to do that it suggests there's a lot more. You know, there was even more fitness there, even though you were targeting 250. You know, the higher 250s. So but yeah, one thing Sally has mentioned is that you sort of know how to suffer and just get through it, which is something I actually need to take notes from, because I think one of my downsides is getting in the race and it starts hurting, and then your head just starts playing up, and you're like, and then that ties into slowing down. So any tactic's a weird word, but anything that goes through your head or anything you try and mitigate during a race when it starts hurting?
I just think everyone's hurting. At the same point, everyone's hurting. It's just your ability to push through. Because I come from an AFL background, so I played AFL till I was I still play now a little bit, but properly until I was 2021.
Yeah.
And that's very like short, sharp, repeat effort. So it's just about going and going and going. Mentally, I do a bit of mindset, a bit of meditation and stuff like that, just to try and get myself, get my mind thinking on what's next. So I'll just wait till the next kilometer, or feel better, or it will feel better down the line. I just try to not think about what's hurting at the time.
Yeah, it's interesting. Did you get the same? Because you ran 16:09 recently in the 5K, and based on, I mean, yeah, like that's quick given even the marathon time. So how do you find the 5K as well? Is that a different level of pain, or are you using the same tactics? Because I know the 5K for me is literally like try not to throw up and still keep running fast.
I just tried to focus on form in the 5K because we had some bloke. I mentioned to Luke, his name's Paddy Stow. He's the most elite runner I've ever seen in my life, like firsthand. He did because they had a 3K and a 5K. Then he did a 250 pace 3K and then decided to pace sub 16 group in the 5.
Wow.
Like he's bloody ridiculous.
Whenever someone says pace 16 minutes, you know they're fit.
Yeah, he's nuts. And there were like, I think there were 9 people in the race and only 4 finished because people just dropped out. So it was good just to like, because you didn't have to look at your watch or anything. You just knew what the pace was, which definitely helps with your time because you're not constantly looking down or thinking, am I going too fast or too slow? You've just got someone or something to go off.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, my calves were bloody burning after the 5K. I don't run many track races, and running with the alpha flies on the track after killed my calves.
Yeah, I can imagine. Had you done any track sessions before, or any? No, not really. That's just
the only other track race I did was the Turbo 5K.
Oh yeah,
that was in August. I think I ran 16:51.
Okay.
So
hang on a minute. That's it's a big jump.
Yeah, it's like 40, pretty decent jump. So yeah, I don't know. I felt better on the day. I wasn't wearing alpha flies as well, so just narrow it down to the alpha flies. They just make you quicker, guys.
Yeah, I'll take. Yeah, I'm going to Wollongong to race in the 5K, so I might take my pair of alpha flies now, I reckon.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. Bloody Paddy was telling me, mate, just get some spikes. Fuck, I'm not getting spikes. I run on the track like once a year, mate.
yeah. That's true. I've never worn spikes. What are spikes like, Dom?
Yeah, they're like really light, and they're spikes to like grip into the track, and you can really kind of like pull your foot along a lot more.
Yeah.
And it's more like powerful like that, but it takes a toll like on your calves and your legs as well though. So they're good because they're like powerful like that for probably 3Ks, but beyond that your legs just can't really keep up. So you start to fatigue a bit more quicker, and yeah, probably not great over like anything beyond 3K, I reckon. Because
the elite runners still use them in the Olympics. In the 10K, don't they? They'll still use their spikes, won't they?
Yeah, they still do. I think they have to now. There's like the rules for like professional runners that they have to wear spikes. You can't have like any shoe with more than 25 millimeters of foam on the track, which is, I don't know. But I think with all the special foams and everything, the spikes have gotten a lot better as well, though. So they don't take it out of your legs as much as well. But I'd probably go, Vaporflies or Alpha Flies for a 5K on the track.
What are the best spikes out there, like brand wise?
Well, Nike have like the special foam, like the Zoom X foam in their Dragonflies. So that's what most people have, and pretty much for forever, Nike have kind of been like the leaders on the track in terms of spikes. Like I don't know if you look at like Olympic medals or whatever, but pretty much all of them are in Nike spikes most of the time. But I think all the other companies are catching up, though. It's kind of just like the same as the super shoe sort of race. Yeah.
How much would that foam make a difference when it's like paper thin?
I don't know. You'd be surprised. Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't get as fatigued.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the bounce as much. I reckon it's just the fatigue in the legs later in the race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fair. Have you tried the Alphafly twos at all, Josh?
I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The Alpha Flight 2s I heard aren't even they aren't any better than the ones. Apparently the ones are just as good, if not better, from reviews that I've listened to and read.
Mm.
Apparently they tried to change too much in the twos. Apparently, I think they said the upper was better in the twos, but like performance wise, I don't think they're that much better.
Mm.
Because I think
Yeah.
they've sort of maxed out what they can do with their bloody shoes, to be fair.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. How about you, Luke? How was your Canberra experience?
My Canberra experience was pretty good. We were very lucky with the weather, I would say.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was perfect weather. It was like probably, what temperature do you reckon it was? Like 10?
I reckon 12 to 14 through the race.
Yeah. So I was going into it. I wanted to get a PB, but I was going into it a little bit not conservative, but like fearful of blowing up, if I'm honest. So that sort of played in the back of my mind in the strategy that I pushed through. I was potential to go out a little bit quicker, but honestly, I just from after the marathon took it pretty easy. Hadn't really done many sessions to sort of gauge where the fitness is, even though sort of I think Sally had a lot more confidence in me than I had in myself, if I'm honest. But not that it was definitely not that it was a disappointing result. Like, it was still a PB, and I feel I raced it pretty well, but it's always much easier in hindsight, isn't it, to be like, oh, I could have gone out quicker and I could have done this and that. But yeah, I had sort of power targets that I was sticking to. I went on the very conservative side of that. And I think the pace I went out was like 3:25s, which felt pretty decent for the first 10K, to be honest. I thought I was sort of waiting for when I was going to start going backwards. And so the race was split up into 3 segments of 7Ks. I think the middle 7K actually slowed down a little bit. And then like those negative, I started to worry, being like, oh no, this is the beginning of the slowdown. But it wasn't. I just had to sort of put my head down, keep running, and just focus on trying to run. It's half marathon's weird. It's like, realistically, once you've done a lot of training, you're kind of really on the edge of threshold. Like, it's just in between a bit slower than 10K pace, and it feels like a pace that you can't, like, if you're doing a session, you'll be like, I can't run this for a full half marathon. But then when you get in the race environment, and sort of with the knowledge that you just got to put your head down, it feels easier. I found, at least. So in the race, I just had trouble backing myself mentally. But yeah, it was good, like perfect weather. Course it was really nice to just cruise down the downhills and try and keep the same amount of effort, and recover a bit. Did you feel like you could kind of recover on the downhills?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it made you feel like you can sort of go a bit harder on the uphill and just cruise a bit on the downhill. But yeah, the music and stuff there was points of the race where there was music.
The Congo drums.
Yeah. That really G'd me up. And also coming back, there was all the runners like sort of G'd you up and were like cheering you on and stuff, which was really awesome. They kept yelling, like, people were like, he's 500 meters ahead. He's 500 meters ahead. And then so it's like 10K's in. He's a kilometer ahead. And then it just kept getting worse. And then like the same guy on the bike came around. I think it was probably like 17K. So I didn't want to hear anyone's voice at that point, but I still had a chuckle. And he's like, 1,500 ahead. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna make this up. Not that I was ever gonna freaking catch him, but yeah, it was a good atmosphere and a good vibe. Even though it was like a smaller race, it still had a really good feel to it, I found. Yeah, so I think I got to a certain point and it was similar to, I think it was similar to Gold Coast, where you get, when there's like about 6K to go, you can just, like, you're not going to blow up. And you can just put your head down and really just give it pretty much everything without like going, well, actually it's at a point where your legs are cooked enough that you can't get into sort of 5K, 10K pace. So there's no chance of you, you know what I mean? So you kind of just, you're running as fast as you can for, pushing it at that effort. So I actually felt a bit of relief getting to that point because it's far enough in the race where you're like, okay, I can see the end now, and you just put your head down, keep going. Yeah, and then got towards the end of it. There was a bit of a convergence with all the runners. And we were running like towards the last 2Ks, we were running amongst people because there were some people still on there because it was a loop and they were on their first lap. But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like Melbourne where you and yeah, I closed. What were you gonna say, Josh?
Oh, I just said I'll just yell out runner on the right. Even
Yeah,
though
I was like, guys move. It was like trying to, I don't know, or I was just like panting, like so everyone could hear me anyway. And then I closed strong, like I didn't go backwards. I think the last K was like a 3:18, which is good.
Just got your PB.
Yeah, just got my PB by 9 seconds, and happy days. You were, a few minutes behind. You look cooked at the end of it because you gave it a sprint to get through. Yeah, which it was heaps good to see you get under. Because obviously that's what you wanted. And then we had Daniel as well, Daniel Clark, who ran sub 80. It was the first time. Yeah, he smashed it. It was the first time back on a start line because he's had some injuries and stuff like that. So he was stoked with a big result. So it was pretty good vibes at the end of it. And then there was a fantastic non-alcoholic beer as well, which was good.
Sponsored.
Oh yeah, what was it? We've got to give it a shout out. I can't remember what it was.
It's on my Instagram post.
Yeah, okay. Go to Josh's Instagram, check out that beer, and say with the Chiefs sent you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it was good. It was almost as good as the Heaps normal one. That's my favorite. So had one of those, then had another one of those, and we were on the podium, so we had to go up and give a bit of a race recap. I was like, oh, who was yeah, they called us up and we did a bit of a Q&A, first Q&A with the microphone. It's like, I was like, oh, I don't know, there's too many people in front of me. But it was good. It was good fun overall. I'm happy with the result, and it's a good baseline to know sort of that's where you're at in terms of fitness, and you can just, get into some sessions.
Yeah.
And start aiming for the next goal, which is to do a 5K.
The next year, I think, heading into the new year. A bit of a lull in events. Coming up, there's not much around apart from really track races. That's about it that's going on at the moment.
That's true. We're going to do 5K and then get into marathon training, I guess.
How'd you find running by yourself in the half? I know in like Melbourne or on like the Gold Coast, you would have been in a pack of some sort. Yeah. It's short enough to not really, I don't know. I felt like because there was people on the course and then you're sort of in a loop. So you saw people coming back and you didn't have the dread of the marathon distance running on your own. So I thought it was pretty relatively manageable, to be honest. But yeah, what about you? Because you were in the same situation past 4K. Yeah, I didn't find it too bad. I just sort of zoned out got into my
Yeah.
own head,
Yeah.
and then went from there. Not I listen to music a lot normally, but I don't in races typically.
You
Yeah.
must have listened to this podcast when Dom's not a fan of headphones in a race.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know. You just want to experience the event.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think it takes away from your focus maybe a little bit. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially I find myself if I'm listening to a song, I'll try to run to the beat and my cadence will just go to shit.
yeah.
Dom, you've had a long-standing theory about this one. What's your gripe with
Oh,
music in a race?
yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, just the focus being in the moment. I don't know. I feel like when I'm listening to music, I want to like find the right song, and sometimes
Yeah.
like the wrong song's playing. I'm just not as amped up or whatever. Like I lose focus. I probably lose focus more when it's like a song I don't like. Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, fair. You don't see too many people with headphones in the race.
No, not normally, I don't think.
So I think everyone's coming to the same realization. But yeah, anyway, so taking it back a bit, how come you decided to get coaching?
Well, I was at the police academy, so that's what I do for work. Obviously, I work as a cop.
Yep.
I don't really care that people know.
Yeah. Do some people weird about it?
Yeah, some people get weirded out, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
My job, so it's me. It's not
100%.
me. It's not my 9 to 5, but I wish it was. I wish it wasn't 6 till 6 a.m. and 6 till 6 p.m. But no, that's what
Is
it's
it like
like.
all shift work and stuff like that then? Or
Yeah, 2 days, 2 nights. So my training's all over the place. Sleep's
Jeez.
different. Yeah,
that's
so.
like that much more impressive that you can run as fast as you do then. Yeah.
How do you actually, let's talk about that. How do you manage that? Because we have a friend who might benefit from listening because he's a paramedic and his sort of schedules all over the place, but it's always challenging managing that.
To be fair, like if I'm like day shifts, I just go after work. So I work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m, go home, feed the dog, and then head out the door for whatever run is on. I remember the worst thing was doing a bloody 2-hour 45 marathon run after a 12-hour shift.
Oh no, thank you.
I think I got home at 9:30, and by that time I was dead.
Absolutely cooked.
Yeah.
I was cooked. It was that exhausting.
Yeah.
But when I do night shifts, I basically just sleep till 1 o'clock, go and run, and then sleep some more. I don't really do too much outside of that.
Okay.
That's normally what I do.
So the routine's just work and run.
Work, sleep, run. That's about it. Not too much else.
Good stuff. All right, back to the original question before I cut you off.
No, back to that. Yeah, I don't know. I've always been pretty keen on running, but I played AFL and I sort of wanted to take that sort of serious at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I had some real bad concussions, just some bad head knocks in footy, which, I got told not to play, and some things happened. I had a lot of negative thoughts going through my head around just mental health and everything, because getting concussion isn't they're not fun, they're not good. And then I knew that I loved running, so I decided to take that serious for that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went away into the police academy, and then when I came out, I was just eager to run better, to run faster. So I wanted to coach for a while, and then when I heard Staley, because I'd run with Dom once at Turbo, and I'd sort of been around the community a little bit. I always wanted to sort of get a coach, and I knew that Staley was pretty good at what she did. And I just sent her a message on Instagram, and she said, yeah, she was keen. So, and then I got a stride pod, and she was happy.
Nothing progresses without a stride pod.
No, nothing at all. You can't race without a stride pod.
No, you can't, especially when you do a 3K like me and forget to put it on your foot. And now we don't have the data. So what was your training like before coaching? Before getting coached by Sally?
I'd just try to do 50, 60K a week while I was at the police academy. I I'd had a pretty normal schedule. Like I'd do 4 mile easy on the Monday. I'd do some sort of track workout on the Tuesday. Then Wednesday easy. I didn't do any strength, so there you go. Sally got me back into that. Thursday I'd have some sort of tempo effort, and then Friday I always have Fridays off because I'd normally go stay with my nan at her house in Sydney, so I'd just spend the night with her and sort of just zone away from everything, and then I'd do a couple of long runs on the weekends. That was sort of what I was doing constantly every week. And before I left footy, I was running Tuesday. After I left footy, I was running Tuesday, Thursdays as well. But when I was playing, I was just leaving training sessions as my run for that day, because you do like 7 to 8 Ks in a training session at footy sometimes. So you sort of get up around that mark, even though it's not all running specific. You're still sort of getting a blowout nonetheless.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was sort of my training at that point. Yeah, and I remember, I did the Three Bridges half marathon in 2018, I reckon. I just had some guy at footy tell me, yeah, just go do this race. So I went and did this race. Never done a race before. Had no idea about nutrition. No idea about, oh yeah, I need water during the race to run. I went out at 3:30s. I just said, I'll just go out as quick as I can here. And then I got to 20 Ks. I'd obviously dropped back in the pace, and I got to about 20 Ks and I started to lose my vision.
Oh shit.
And I stumbled off course and I passed out.
Far out.
And
Oh, jeez.
next thing I remember, I was in the back of a bloody ambulance with an IV drip on me.
Jeez.
It was a terrible experience.
I remember you telling me about this, but what sort of pace did you hold until the end?
I reckon I was running about 3:45, 3:50 through the whole half marathon. I've never ran one before.
Jesus. What did it creep up on you? Like the
heat,
happened?
I think because the race was Three Bridges is late October. Late October, so it's pretty hot.
Yep.
And I don't know, I could sort of feel myself just getting lightheaded, and not just lightheaded mainly, obviously fatigued as well. And then I just remember waking up in the bloody back of an ambulance, and I don't think I'd ever been in a worse state in my life ever.
Oh shit.
It was so bad. And that sort of alerted me, I should probably do some research and figure out what I've got to do during the race.
What did they say? What did they say to you? Was it just the heat, or was it your body's not used to?
Yeah, it was a lack of water, the heat. I spent 2 nights in hospital.
Jeez.
The first night they were just getting my fluids up, trying to help me that way, and then the second night they put me in a cardio ward. They wanted to monitor my heart because they said my heart rate was too low.
What was it again?
It was like 33. 33 resting.
Yeah.
But I told them, fit people. Don't fit people just have low heart rates. That's what I was trying to tell them. So
33 is pretty low.
but they said it was low, but it ended up being getting all cleared and everything. But it was definitely an experience for sure.
Yeah.
That I'll definitely never forget. So just a lesson out there, just do a bit of research into your nutrition and your hydration if you've never raced before, because it can happen.
Don't go out on the. No, but normally you would naturally slow down, no?
Yeah. I don't know, just as you said earlier, I don't know, I just get in my own head and I just keep powering on.
You fucking must have. I'd be like, it's too hot, and just walk off the course. At like 6 Ks, I'd be like, I'm done.
I don't like stopping for anything ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could have had a bloody broken leg, and I still would have tried to hobble to the finish line.
Oh dear.
Yeah, had like any other real tough kind of moments where you've just been able to grit stuff out, or have pushed it too far?
I did the Three Bridges full. I think I was trying for that 3-hour mark, and I think I got to about 32K, and I started to decline a bit, like just get a bit slower. And then I think it was 36, 37K, and I had a double cramp in both my hamstrings.
Oh jeez.
Oh shit.
It was painful, and I ended up like shuffling my way to get my stride back, because if I had to lengthen it straight away, it just cramped again. So I shuffled my way to get the stride back up to normal. Yeah, and I just said, yeah, it was tough, because I was obviously just training myself at that point and going off bloody programs online and stuff. And
Yeah.
it definitely helps having a coach. I can tell you that for sure. They know a bit more than what the average punter does.
Yeah, that's for sure, especially Sally. What's the what's the biggest difference with having a coach? Would you like what's some of the big things you learned after? Now it's been quite a bit.
Honestly, warm up, cool down. I don't think I ever warmed up in my life before, Sally. Like I lived in Schofields in like northwest Sydney, and there was this 5K loop, like perfect 5K loop around like a block of my area, and I just used to go out and just hammer. I didn't warm up at all. I just go as fast as I could for 5K. Might swing the legs once or twice, and then just run as fast as I could.
That's what they call the then they call that the gray zone or whatever it is. This is the no benefit zone, or maybe you were just running threshold efforts for every run.
I literally was like, I had no idea before I did that first marathon block. Like I think late 2018. I think I was been running for a few years. I don't think I'd ever run a sub 4-minute K in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I just always would go under four minutes. If I was over 4 minutes, I'm like, I'm shit. I'm so bad at this.
I guess if you'd never listened to any running stuff or like programming or anything, what would you assume? How would you assume you'd get better? Like I only knew because Dom was a mate and he taught me everything about running. Otherwise I'd still be trotting around breakfast point doing the 4K loop after a big night, like being like, this is if I just do this heaps. And then Dom's like, no, so you got to like do these things they call sessions. So I'm like, oh, what's that?
I think for 2 years my 10K PB was like 350, like at a 350 pace at like 38 minutes. But it was always between 38 and 39 minutes every 10K I did, or every 5K I did was 18 to 19 minutes. I could never get it under.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
So
you just don't get fitter.
Yeah. You probably got to that level of your base and or your background probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Well, we got to ask the diet question. What do you place much focus on diet or?
To be honest, not really.
Yeah.
I like to
like
eat.
probably 80% of people are like,
Not really.
no.
Yeah.
I like to eat decent food. Like I don't go and eat takeout all the time.
Yeah.
But I have ice cream every now and then. Like I'll go and get some fast food. I don't eat Macca's or KFC because I just don't eat them, because I think Macca's is worse than cancer. But
Dom will be like, well, I don't agree because that's what got me through night shifts. But
and then bloody KFC, I worked there for 4 years and I saw how it was made, and I'm like, I get put off by the smell of it these days.
Oh no, we're gonna have a whistleblower here. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not pleasant the way it gets made. I can tell you that.
We won't get them as a sponsor, don't worry.
No, nutrition wise though, like I don't know, I tend to have the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner most of the time. Like similar, like your veggies, your potato, and whatever meat you have. Like I'm pretty basic in that sense. I'm very white. I don't really branch out into many ethnic cultures and groups in terms of what food I eat. Which is probably something I'm missing out on. I'm sure I'll get there one day.
Well, yeah, I keep it pretty simple these days, to be honest. Most people, I don't know, there's something about over optimizing the diet that can just be like counterintuitive at times. It's like you end up putting so much mental energy on what you're eating, and then you're just like, well, there's got to be a middle ground here. You know, there's got to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Now I'm
anyway.
just looking at it's just fuel. That's how I look at it now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
if you do a big run the next day, it doesn't matter what you eat the night before, as long as you don't eat a tub of ice cream, because you probably won't go too far without going to the toilet. But
Yes. I'm fond of Kit Kats, Maltesers, Magnums, all those sorts of things. But you can at least eat them somewhat guilt-free if you've got a decent long run the next day.
yeah. Oh, 2 a.m. on a night shift, it's kind of the only thing that's available. So
Yeah.
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 grab that and eat it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fill you up, but you just feel as though you need it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a good recap of the race. We
Yeah.
normally, Dom, do you have any questions before? What do you reckon?
Cool.
I've kind of not. It's always me bloody talking. I need to stop this.
No, it's good, mate. Yeah, running shoes. What are you wearing at the moment?
At the moment, obviously race day had the Alpha Fly, just the ones.
Yep.
Then my easy runs, been wearing the Hoka Clifton 8s.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I find them really, really comfortable. I was telling Luke about another pair of easy shoes that I bought that I was going to give to him last weekend.
Yeah, we
You
didn't
might
get
not be
the
a big
chance.
fan. I hate the New Balance 1080s.
Seriously, oh, I love those.
Yeah,
don't know
Dom
why.
loves them.
My feet just don't like them. Like they make me like seize up in the feet and cramp,
Yeah,
which
right.
is really weird because I've done a few runs in them and I don't know, they just feel they're soft underfoot, but apparently running shoes wise, if it's soft, it's actually hard. It does, like someone was telling me it. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, I've got them sitting in a box. They've done 50K, so I'm looking for someone to buy them if anyone's interested. And then I've got a pair of Endorphin Speed 3s,
Oh
which I
yeah.
like using as a tempo shoe. I think they're great shoes. And I have a pair of the Pros as well, the 2s. Big fan of the Sauconys. Well, yeah, I think
They're awesome.
they're the best. To be fair, I think I might be far off me getting a pair of Pro 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mate.
but I
That's
need
like-
another pair of Hoka Clifton 8s because mine are starting to get a bit worn.
Interesting. Yeah, the Clifton 8s is I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty polarizing shoe. Like a lot of people don't really like them at all, but
Yeah.
a few people absolutely love them. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I've spoken to a few people. Like I mentioned Paddy before, he told me he hated them.
Yeah.
A few other guys hated them. When I originally got them, I never thought Hoka would be a thing that I'd get, but they were just on special. So I'm like, oh, I'll try these out. And because I thought Hoka, the shoes, like they're really high. And I thought I'll probably roll an ankle or something in these. But yeah, I think I got blisters for maybe the first couple runs, and then they just feel real comfortable underfoot now. And yeah, they're just really giving. I think they help with my recovery a lot, the Clifton 8s.
Yeah, they're not a bad shoe. I guess like probably similar to the Alpha Fly as well, with like a bit of foam under your foot. You kind of probably a bit used to that because a lot of people complain about the Alpha Fly as well. So maybe they go well hand in hand together.
Yeah, because I run on my toes a lot, very light on my feet. Because I actually did a session with I don't know if you've heard of him, the Balance Runner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sally set me up for a session with him, and he said that I was very like on my toes when I run, and that I'd benefit from the Alpha Flies. So I'm like, oh, I'll go buy a pair then, because I was sort of tossing up between the Vapors or the Alphas, as most people do.
Yeah.
And he said the Vapors are probably better for you. So I listened to him, and they feel good, even though you always get a blister underneath your part of your arch. But yeah, we're gonna make sacrifices in races, I guess.
Yeah, right. What was the session with him like? Did you learn anything else? Or
He taught me. I was under the impression in running, especially longer distances, that you shouldn't move your arms much. I know that was always sort of the thought process. I've heard some people say that, but he told me to get my arms moving because it propels motion with the legs. So when you're driving up with your arms, your legs is like it's helping you push off the ground. and you
Yeah.
end up doing less steps, so your cadence will get better with increased activity with the arms. So it was interesting. I definitely learned a lot from it, and now I'm doing that. I'm moving my arms more. Yeah, so it's the little things, but yeah. No, he was really good though. I was happy that I did that session. So there wasn't too much more, but that was the main thing.
Mm.
Running on your
Yeah.
toes and moving your arms.
Yeah, that's it. Just tell everyone out there. That's all you have to do to be any decent type of runner.
Because everyone loves to ask, like, oh, how do I get better? Like, what's the technique for running? But it's kind of hard to give them an explanation, I guess. Like, yeah,
he's really good. I've follow him on Instagram now, and I just look at some of the stuff he does, and like he compares like athletes, like professional athletes, and analyzes like their form and stuff. Like he'll analyze Kipchoge and say, oh, best form in the world, but he might analyze someone who's running 5 minutes slower and tell them why they're running slower. Or he's very, very knowledgeable.
Yeah, right. Awesome. I think definitely worth a follow.
Yeah.
Still got to go for my session, I think. So we were gonna tee it up, but I missed out. But I'm sure it'll happen. I'm curious as to, those kind of things. I wonder what. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what I can. I don't know. Sometimes I would say overall I'm just lazy with the with the extras.
So like the 1%ers.
I know they make a difference. I know strength, bloody hell. I've got to get around it. I have to.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, I think we will end on that. I don't know if you can call it famous question, but the question we always ask, which is, what has been your favorite race or race memory? Do you reckon?
I'd have to say my favorite race ever. I did a 60k charity run for more than a run last year for Movember. So everyone would know about it coming up now. Obviously, I was at the police academy at the time, so I wasn't running with other people. I just sort of teed it up, got up in front of 500 people and told them I was doing this run at the morning ceremony, and I just told them I had a goal to raise a certain amount of money. Ended up raising 2.5k, which I was pretty happy with. And I just ran 60k around the academy grounds, and they put on a big day for it. So they had like a dodgeball event going. They had some other little running races, and they put on a barbecue and everything. And it was all centered around what I was doing. So they'd have like donation buckets out with people, just putting their donations in. I don't know, it just felt really, really good, because mental health's a real big thing for me. I sort of live on that. That's sort of what my running background sort of based off. Most of it is mental health, like relief, and I just think it makes you feel better running. So yeah, that's definitely my most memorable run. Just seeing everyone come together and having everyone out there for just a common purpose. I know when you do a race, everyone's there for a common purpose, but normally it's not focused on something in that sense.
Yeah. I think we get caught up in all the tactics and all, how do we run faster and all these things, but we, like, the underlying thing is when we go for a run, we just feel better.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is the main thing. So it's like, no matter what I don't know, for me at least, it's made a tremendous difference over the last, I don't know how long it's been, but yeah, I don't know. I'm addicted to it, but in a good way.
Yeah. No, it was good, because buddy, that, like, during that race, it's not a race. You're not focused on a pace. You're not focused on beating anyone or doing anything. The only thing you're focused on is finishing that 60Ks for the cause you're running for, and trying to motivate as many other people around you to donate to a good cause. Because a lot of people think, when Movember gets mentioned, it's all about men's mental health. But I sort of put it to everyone it's about everyone's mental health, just not about the men. I know that we sort of get overlooked sometimes as men. It's a bit like the population, like our suicide rate's a bit higher than females, but it's everyone out there. Anyone could be struggling, so it's always important to check in on any of your mates, even if you're not mates, just saying how you going, or anything along those lines is always important, I think. Anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Especially the just getting out for a. Don't even have to get carried away. Just get out with a mate and just go for a few kilometers and then go for a coffee. I mean, at the end of the day, we take it to the extreme, but it's
Yeah.
it's certainly anchored in just, I don't know, lifting each other up at least.
It starts somewhere. It starts at the very small end for everyone. Like, we weren't doing bloody 10K our first ever run. We were just out there giving it a go, and it obviously made us feel better, and that's why we're doing it now.
Yeah.
So that's what I just encourage everyone to give it a go. To be fair, I know that running's not everyone's thing, but no, I think it's the best exercise there is, to be fair.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, I think I'm biased. We do have a running podcast. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining the show. We'll see you. I hope to see you soon. Anyway, when are you in Sydney next? Anyway.
I'll be down around New Year's, but depending on roster, I might try and sneak down for the 5K at Wollongong.
Oh,
But just depends on the roster.
wait, you
So
mean?
I'll go from
Soon?
5K to 100. So
You mean on Saturday?
yeah, no, not this one. There's one.
Okay, I was like, come on, man, let's do it.
There's one in Wollongong, which is
Okay.
in December. So I might try and do
December.
that one. Oh, that might be in Sydney actually. Might be mistaken. Yeah.
December 10, there's one. Turbo PB City.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's the one I'm thinking of then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll be there. I might not be racing, but I'll be there.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh. See you guys.
No dramas.